Hello and welcome to episode 10 of the Exponential Show. As always, thanks to our friends at Multiply Marketing for sponsoring the production of this episode. The 10th episode of the Exponential Show is special for many reasons. The first of them being the fact that this is our first episode in India, which is my home country. We also share a common connection with our guest, Arpan, today. Arpan, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure, Arpan. And the common connection being that both our younger brothers are friends, and that's how we got connected. And that connection goes back all the way to Bangkok. So, Arpan, once again, thank you for being on the show. Arpan, ladies and gentlemen, is a partner at WTF, or What the Flavors. And Arpan, can you just walk us through what WTF is, and for people who don't know what you guys are doing?
Sure.
Please.
We started this brand in February, named What the Flavors, because we wanted to cater flavoring in India. So we are three brothers. One of them is cousin, one is my real younger brother. Right. So I would just say that we are three brothers. We started this business. Three of us have been doing business for a very long time. We've been working in all these kind of industries from 2015, where me and my cousin, we were doing online businesses and industrial businesses, while my younger brother, he was doing snackable products.
Right.
And now together we have come up with What the Flavors, which is automatic Pani Puri, to cater the hygiene problems of India.
Interesting. Yeah. So it's interesting to know that you're innovating in what is a very traditional vertical that hasn't changed. And what makes it even more interesting that we are sitting here in Indore, which, for those of you who don't know, is also my wife's hometown, who also happens to be my co-founder. I got acquainted with Indore in 2017.
Okay.
And since then, I've had the pleasure of being here for multiple visits. And through my visits, I've learned one thing about Indore, and that is the fact that snacking here is taken very, very seriously.
Right.
And now that we are sitting in the snacking capital of India, how difficult was it, or was it a conscious decision for you to try to innovate in a place where A, people are very passionate about snacking, and two, there are a lot of legacy names here, right? So there's stores and shops that have been serving snacks for generations. So what made you choose Indore? Has it been a challenge or has it been a blessing? Can you walk us through the decision of being in this city for this business?
Right. Why we choose Indore? Because three of us, we come from Indore. We were born here, and we have been seeing our fathers doing businesses here in Indore. So we started this business, and we ourselves are Pani Puri lovers. And everywhere, wherever we go in India, we never find consistent flavors anywhere. So we thought that this is a very unorganized sector, and we wanted to really organize the Pani Puri throughout India, where they can get similar kind of flavors, a consistency in all the kinds of materials that they are using. At the same time, we were able to cater hygiene problems. Because we come from a background where we were making industrial machines for snacking businesses.
Right.
So that is why it was pretty easy for us to innovate. And being here in Indore, it was very easy for us to promote the product, because Indore is really known for snacking and food. All the food bloggers are mostly from Indore.
Interesting. And did you face any challenge when it came to adoption, because people were so in love with the traditional vendors, or did you feel that the newer generation was easy for them to?
No, I think it was very easy for everybody, because they wanted something innovative in it. Everybody has been complaining about why people were dipping their hands using serving Pani Puri and all that. So people were very, I would say, excited to adopt the sensor-based Pani Puri. That is why they were all attracted to it.
That's interesting. You mentioned that you come from an engineering background, so can you speak more on just what the technology is, and we'll maybe put a B-roll in the video just to show people how it works.
So,
just explain how it works.
So what we have done is, instead of serving the water by dipping the puris in it or using a utensil to pour water in it, we have installed sensors which dispense water as soon as you bring the puri under it.
I see.
This is this is the kind of innovation that we did.
Interesting. And so it's interesting to know that you innovated when it comes to the actual dispensing of a snack like Pani Puri.
Right.
But we were discussing off camera again the fact that the engineering is not the only innovation you're doing, right? So you mentioned the use of social media, you mentioned the use of business models where you're expanding through franchisees across multiple cities.
Right.
So can you talk about, so there's technology innovation, there's marketing innovation, and there's business model innovation.
Right.
So can you tell us about your experience with each of those and which of them worked best for you and what challenges you might have faced in them?
So the technology innovation is not the only thing. Where all the other companies are actually hiring some other people to do their branding and designing their outlets or predefining their menus. They generally hire other agents to do those things. But in our case, we did everything by ourselves,
Right.
which was the unique factor that attracted all the customers to buy from us than all the other legacy players that are out there.
Right.
And we had systemized the whole system by inventing premixes for our waters and all the other flavors, like for dahi puri, for dahi we have made our premixes. For waters we have made our premixes. For bhel we have made our premixes. This is something that has helped all the franchisees to deliver the same amount of flavoring and the same amount of product out there.
Interesting.
I think, yeah.
One interesting angle that comes with franchising in India is that for people who don't live here, it's hard to fathom how diverse India is, right? So despite the fact that India is one large country, there's so many different subcultures when you move from state to state or even from city to city.
Right.
So how are you navigating the different consumer behaviors of, say, an Indore versus a Bangalore or a Pune or things of that nature?
So what we have done, first thing what we have done is we have kept our franchisee fees very low, so that anybody can own our franchisee and start selling Pani Puri. At the same time, we don't take any royalties from anybody, so all the profit it goes to them.
I see.
And we have kept an open model for all the franchises where they can introduce a local product along with our Pani Puri.
I see.
For example, if it's in South India and Tamil Nadu, when they are serving our Pani Puri, along with that they are serving their own papdi snack that they have in South India.
I see.
In Maharashtra, they are serving vada pav along with our Pani Puri.
Nice.
And in Madhya Pradesh, they are serving sandwiches along with Pani Puri. So we have not restricted anybody to sell other products along with our Pani Puri. We have told them whatever help you need, whatever premixes you need, we will develop for you and we'll help you grow as we grow with you.
Nice.
This is how we are going forward with it.
Nice. Now that you mention it, I recall studying back in business school about the localization that brands like McDonald's, for example, were doing. So they have a McAloo Tikki in India.
Right.
So yes, it's interesting to know that you are emulating some of the larger brands there when it comes to standardization, but yet hyper localization when it comes to the offerings that you're providing them. So it's fascinating to know that there's various levels at which you need to think when you are working in an industry like snacking in a country like India.
Right.
One thing else that we have in common is the fact that we both work with family. I work with my wife, you work with your siblings.
Yes.
So can you maybe shed some light on the personal side of business? Right? And you come from a family business, of course, so there's obviously that inherited legacy of being in a family business and then working with family. So can you tell me about the advantages and disadvantages of running a business enterprise with your family?
I don't know any disadvantages yet. Everybody have been telling us that partnerships are hard and it's very hard to keep the partnerships alive. There will always be disputes and all those things, but in our case I don't think we don't look at this in a partnership way. We are looking at it as we are working together. It's not a business partnership. It's just that we three of us like to work with each other, so we don't really talk about our disputes.
Right.
Obviously, three of us have three different directions, but in the end, because of our solution finding nature, we are always discussing and coming up with a solution in which three of us agree at all the time. And it's fun, I think, working with your siblings compared to anybody else.
That's a good answer, and I think it's a healthy way to look at things. Right?
Yep.
It's just looking at the positives of working with people you can trust and people
Right,
you've
right.
literally grown up with.
Right. That is the biggest advantage, because they have also seen all the things that you have seen.
Right.
They also have the same visions that you have, because you all grew together.
Right. That's great. Now, there's one thing that is close to my line of work, which is your use of social media in your growth story. And you mentioned that you guys started in February.
Yes.
And you've scaled your social media presence internally with your own strategies.
Right.
So can you shed some light on what your content strategy was and how important it was, and whether you have any learnings from that you would like to share with the audience?
So let me begin with our older business that we used to do. We used to make wooden wristwatches and sunglasses that we used to sell online only using Instagram. There were no other platforms.
Right.
There were no offline marketing. The only marketing there was the Instagram page. So through that we learned how to make things go viral, how to make products that go viral. This is the reason why we were able to make the reels that made our page viral, and we grew up to 50K within 7 months only.
Nice.
So all the strategies that we are using is our own experience of how people will look at those kind of content. It's not, we don't try to copy anybody, we don't look at any influencer marketing, we don't hire any influencers as of yet. We try to make our content that is very, very shareable.
I see.
And very relatable to everybody, so they share it a lot with other people, and these how all the reels they go viral whenever we post online.
Nice.
Let me share some numbers with you.
Please.
Some of our reels have gone up to 25 million views
Wow. Okay. That's.
since we have posted.
And was that organic?
All organic. We don't do any promotion. We
Oh, wow.
don't pay any money for marketing. We have a different way of looking at our businesses. We spend money, instead of hiring agencies, we spend money in brand building and storytelling. And those are the strategies that works online. You don't have to hire anybody to help you tell your story. If you tell your story your way, I think that is the best strategy of making your pages go viral and your brand grow bigger.
Agreed. Yeah, I could not emphasize on the importance of storytelling more and the importance of authenticity, because like you said, if you're telling your own story,
Right.
As founders, as people who are involved day in and day out
Right,
with the
right.
business, there's nobody who understands the business more than you guys do. right?
Definitely.
So it's definitely an advantage when there's the founders are involved in the marketing of the brand, especially in the early days.
Right.
So great to learn about that journey as well. Speaking of understanding your business, we were discussing how you've had a great problem where, thanks to your virality and thanks to your rapid growth, you've had to, as partners in the business, as founders of the business, you've had to travel to different locations across India to set up your franchisees, to set up your locations. So can you tell us about what benefits that has had for you when it comes to actually being on the ground with your customers, with your partners, franchisees and things of that nature? So what are the benefits of getting your hands dirty when it comes to
So when we go for installations and training, the benefits that we get is by meeting new people, making more connections, telling more people about what we are doing, because online is just one platform, and
Right.
being available actually in that city is another way of marketing that we are doing. So whenever people come there after the installation, we generally stay there for 3 to 4 days. We help understand how this particular location will work, how the people are responding to it, what kind of flavors do they require, because we keep changing flavors also. We have 4 flavors in Pani Puri. So we give them flavors according to their own local area. So it helps us connect to the customers directly because our franchisee cannot give us that kind of feedback that we can give.
Right.
Plus, when we are at the franchisee, when we talk to customers, it's a different way of us approaching them and telling them about Pani Puri.
Right.
And but when the franchisee owner, when he talks about it, it's a very different prospect because he is trying to make money and we are trying to reach our customers, telling them that this is our brand and you will get consistent flavors always if you come to us.
I see.
This is what we are trying to tell everybody. And we have also started a loyalty program like you must have seen in Thailand. All those juice counters, they have those coupons, right?
Stamps.
We have done that in Pani Puri also here.
Fascinating.
We have a loyalty card where you get one free Pani Puri if you are able to eat 6 Pani Puri throughout whenever you want to eat.
Fascinating.
This is what calls our customers back to our place.
Nice.
Not because of free Pani Puri, but the fact that they also want to be loyal to us.
Of course, yeah. So they see an association with the brand.
Right,
so
right.
Yeah, so it's they can relate.
Everybody
to it.
wants to be a part of a brand, and that is why this is how they are being a part of the brand. We are giving back because they are coming back to us.
Makes a lot of sense. That sort of brings a new question to my head is what kind of demography, because the marketing strategies that you described, it seems like it is catering very heavily to the millennial and Gen Z consumer.
Right.
So does that reflect in your consumer base as well?
Not really. I think everybody have tried our Pani Puri. First, sometimes the older generation, they sometimes criticize because of the slowness of the product. They sometimes criticize because they have to stand behind the line. All of those 4 sensors, when it's fully crowded, sometimes they have to stay behind. So they usually complain that it should have been better if I would have ate by using those hands. But once they get to experience it, they instantly tell us that we'll bring our family as well to try it out at your place. Your flavors are very good. And because of the hygiene maintenance, they are really attracted to our model.
Nice. So yeah, and it has been a running joke, the unhygienic use of hands in Pani Puri since I was
for a very long time. I think for a very long time.
So yes, I think that is one thing that is one joke that you're solving.
Also, along with that, there is an ease of eating at our store. If you previously ate somewhere else where you have to stand in a queue, right? It's not a queue that you stand behind each other, right?
Right.
But when you're eating Pani Puri, you make a circle.
Correct.
And you stand in a queue and you get Pani Puri turn by turn.
Right.
Here also you're eating turn by turn, but there is no pressure for you to finish it fast before the second Puri arrives, right? You are at your own pace. You can eat at your own pace. If you want to drink water in the end, you can drink water using the cup that you get, and you don't have to rush it. Generally, people, they are very worried that I'll have to eat fast because my turn is coming back again. And here now that you don't have to really worry about it. And people, they have adapted to our machine. What they do is they take one Puri, they stand back, the other person comes, they eat another Puri, they stand back. So they have already started adapting to this culture of how to eat a Pani Puri at an automatic store. So this is also one benefit that they are getting, that it's an ease for you to eat at your own pace.
Nice.
Also, when they fill Puri, by dipping their hands, they fill the full Puri.
Right.
Some people like their Puri half filled.
Right.
Some people like it filled fully up to the top. And here, since the sensors work only until you keep your hand under it, you can fill it yourself. And there are 4 flavors. You can take whatever flavor you want. You don't have to constantly speak to them, because with a Puri in mouth, how can you tell anybody, Bhaiya, I want this kind of this water, I don't want this water, I want that water. And here it's very easy for you to eat by yourself at your own pace.
Very interesting. So it's not just a factor of hygiene, but also you're adding a layer of convenience to how people are consuming, and a layer of flexibility in terms of what flavor they want and what quantity of water they want, or how much of it they want. So yeah, it's good to know, because as a consumer, you don't think about these things, right? You don't think about the fact that, yes, as a kid, we've always seen that semicircle of people rushing to finish their Pani Puri because the bhaiya will put the next one in your...
Right. Why we have experienced all of those things, because we love Pani Puri crazily.
Fair.
We have 3 of us, we are big foodie, we eat outside every day. We like to explore all the new kinds of food out there. So this is the things that we experience, and we are constantly talking about these kind of problems that are occurring while we go to any store while eating anything.
Nice. So yeah, that's a deep consumer insight that I never thought of that.
This is a consumer invented product.
Those I think are the best kind of solutions, right? When you're trying to solve your own problem, there is no better way to understand that problem, right? So that's a great way to approach it.
Now that we have franchises everywhere, at least we are assured that we'll get the Pani Puri that we want in every city. At least we don't have to worry about that.
So you're at least eating your own.
We are at least not scared that the pani would be will be unhygienic.
Nice.
At least it will be good and all.
Nice. Just speaking of franchisees and just maintaining standardized flavors, standardized quality, standardized hygiene, which is important to you. When you work with franchisees, especially at an early stage of the business, how difficult has it been for you to maintain that quality from a logistical standpoint? From obviously it's a perishable good, so
even for that we have come up with a solution. We are not giving all the things from our end.
Okay.
All the produce comes from their end, their own city. They have to procure it themselves.
I see.
The puris, they have to procure it themselves.
Okay.
And we are just mostly providing the flavors of keeping it consistent.
I see.
So when we go for installation, we go with them to their vendor to finalize, okay, you have to buy puris from this vendor, we approve of it. And all the other things like bhel mixes we send from here, all the dry products are the only things that we send from here. We don't send all the perishable products from here.
That's
and
nice.
all of our other products like bhel mixes, pre-mixes, they all have shelf lives of 6 months.
That's nice. Okay, so yeah, that's I think a great way to solve the logistical nightmare of managing a franchisee business when it comes to food. And I think I'm just speaking as an outsider here, but I imagine that sourcing locally also adds to the freshness of.
It does. Why we ask them to buy coriander, mint leaves, and chili paste is because we want to serve fresh water every day.
Right.
Our powder, our premix basically puts all the flavors in it, but the freshness cannot be ever put through dehydrated products. It has to be fresh. Right. That is why we ask them to make pastes of everything, and then they add our flavors to it. This is how our water is made.
Great. Yes, it's a good insight for me to understand what.
I don't think a lot of franchisees do this way. Only they what they do is they only allow the franchisees to buy produce locally. Even in that way, most of them that we have heard of, the other franchisees, are competitors and all. They have established a central kitchen in every city wherever they are opening franchises. We haven't done that because we don't want to control everything. We want it to be local, we want it to be fresh, we want it to be good.
I see.
This is what our motive is. This is why we named it What the Flavors.
I see.
We want to maintain the flavors and the freshness of the product. If we try to control everything, I think we'll be like all the other franchises while sending all the frozen fruits, adding more preservatives. We don't want to add more preservatives.
Right.
This is why we are only giving powder based products from here.
That's nice. And so I think the one added advantage is the fact that you're not only providing flexibility to your customers in the way they consume, but also to your franchise partners who how they want to run their operations and things of that nature, while also maintaining a standard quality. So just striking the right balance between the two. So yeah, it's a great insight for me to learn the ins and outs of food business that I've never really been a part of. So thanks for that insight. Okay, the last question, if I may ask, is what's next? So it's still very early days. You're still figuring out your expansion plans and just keeping up with demand. So I imagine that is a handful. But as a business owner myself, we know that we can't help but dream.
Right.
So what's next in store for What the Flavors? What are you guys up to? Are you outside of just expanding to new cities? Is there anything else that you would like to share with?
We are going global next year.
Awesome.
On February, we are opening our first franchise in Malaysia. and we
Awesome,
are
very
in
nice.
talks with a lot of people who wants to open franchises in America and the UK.
Nice.
So we are just really excited to go overseas to show people that India is not only about unhygiene, it's more about technology and giving flavors to everybody using hygiene standards.
Nice to know. And is Thailand on the radar as well?
Yes,
For very
definitely.
selfish reasons?
Definitely. Thailand, it will always be in the radar, I think.
So, great to know. So, yeah, so global expansion and...
Global expansion, yes.
It's great to know, and it's something like you said. It's there's a universality to Pani Puri, right? So
Right.
we were discussing again. It could be called a puchka or a golgappa somewhere,
Yes.
or
Puri somewhere, patache somewhere.
Correct.
A lot of people call it in different ways.
Correct. But all cultures in India have some way, shape, or form of this snack in
Right.
their street food culture.
Right.
So yeah, so I think it translates very well to the Indian diaspora living outside of India, for example.
Right.
Cool. And in terms of Indian expansion, what new cities are you guys? So you mentioned a few cities earlier that you guys are opening very soon. Okay, can you name those? And what other cities are you planning to go to?
We are moving into Jaipur, Kota, Delhi as well.
Nice.
Only these few cities we are going to go forward for next few months.
Fascinating.
And right now we are only planning to expand to the cities that we are already in.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So it's just cool. So perfect. So I think with that we come to the end of our discussion. It has been a pleasure learning about you, your business, and
Same.
obviously with our shared backgrounds in Thailand and our shared backgrounds in Indore.
Right.
It's great to.
We have two relatable connections now.
Very true. And for again, like I said, for very selfish reasons, I'm hoping that you come to Thailand again soon, and this time with your Pani Puri
Pani
machine.
Puri, yes.
Perfect. Thank you, Arpan. Thank you for your time, and
Same
we
here.
will see each other a lot more.
Okay, nice.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you to everybody who tuned in. If you liked the episode, make sure to subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.